Alright, what is up guys? Wolfgang here. So today, I want to make a build. I was thinking about it for a bit, and I'm interested to give it a shot. So I'm pretty sure this build has been made in the past, not this one. It just came from testing Barrow Diet on Arctitan, and there will be a video about it coming up soon. TM, I don't know. So, the build I want to try is actually with, Point Contact Cannon Brace. So this exotic used to be one of my favorites back in the day. Before Prismatic, really, for ad clear, just jolt everything, electricity everywhere. So I want to give it a shot, see how it feels now. I tried it, I believe I tried it a couple seasons ago, and I did not, or episodes/seasons, and didn't feel as good as when I started. So yeah, we'll see how it goes now. So on specifically Arc, I do like this setup I have here. That's pretty much the bog standard. This time I'm using Storm's Keep because it's just cracked for any kind of situation. Knockout, Thunder Crash, using, artifact mods of all time, resistance, frequency, discharge, and ions. Pretty basic standard build for me. What I want to try to do, however, is do it on Prismatic. Now, there are many advantages to Prismatic, aside from Transcendence. One thing I want to try is with the class item, which I'm not sure if I actually have on me right now. Got a couple options. I think Inmos is definitely one of our best picks, this one right here, as we'll get, the added ability regeneration thanks to Inmos Light. For now, we'll just select random arms. Oh, it looks beautiful. So yeah, Inmost, when you use an ability, it'll grant ability for the other ones for some time. I believe it's 400% ability regeneration. Don't quote me on the numbers. And then Spirit of Contact, as it says here, damaging a target with powered melee causes all nearby targets to suffer lightning strikes and become jolted. Now, I actually think that might have gotten changed because I remembered only doing jolt. But we'll see when we give it a shot how it goes. Now, the main reason I want to use Prismatic is because of this aspect of fragment right here, the Faceted Balance, which is kind of a staple in all the Consecration builds. For this build, I will not use Consecration, however, to force me to do something different, really. I want to stick with Thunderclap, as well as, Diamond Lance. And my thought with Diamond Lance is that it's going to be Darkness Energy to proc, or Darkness Kills to proc Faceted Balance, which according to the Destiny Data Compendium, geez, I can't talk, which I have over here, we look up balance right here. We'd see killing 3 enemies within 3 seconds of each other grants light damage, grants 10% melee ability. So what I'll focus on mainly is getting the melee energy back, because I want to do a melee spam sort of a build, of course, Titan. So Faceted Balance is kind of what I'm focusing on. Now, I do think I want to use Glacier Grenade, as it's more darkness damage to give me more. Now, since what we want is light damage to cycle around to get more melee energy, we want to stick with either Pulse Grenade, which is what I had previously. I guess for kills, Pulse is probably the best option. However, I am thinking I also want Darkness Transcendence, and we can try to cycle with Inmost, throwing grenades and getting melees back. So it's either going to be Pulse Grenade or Glacier Grenade. Glacier would give us more grenade energy, which is always appreciated, never a bad idea. So we might have to give that a shot as well. But for now, I think I'll stick with Pulse as well. It's just a strong ad clear. Now, another aspect I really want to use in this build, or another facet in this case, fragment, whatever, facet of Purpose to get Bolt Charge. Now, Bolt Charge, of course, is taking over basically everything, especially on Storm's Keep Titan. Extremely good build. So I want to kind of try to integrate it here, make our melees and grenades even more powerful. Of course, we won't have Barricade to put down with Storm's Keep, proc it on weapon damage, but that's fine. For now, I think this will do. As in basically all of my Prismatic builds, I want to keep Faceted Protection, as I'll basically always be surrounded. Now, the Facet of Dominance is also going to be very good with a Pulse Grenade, as it will jolt enemies, making more light damage, making more melee ability for us. So I think that's a good choice. And lastly, we can change around is Facet of Dawn. Now, I was considering Facet of Courage, as that will give us more powerful of a melee, about a 10% if we freeze enemies with our Diamond Lance or with our Glacier Grenade if we decide to swap to that. But we'll have to see. For now, I think we stick with Pulse Grenade to make more arc, more jolt. And for the Facet of Purpose, since I want a Bolt Charge, we'll have to use Thunder Crash. And before, it was kind of a hard choice to do Thunder Crash because orbs would only give you Amplified. But now they give you Bolt Charge, which is a much better pick than Amplified, as we get Amplified from Knockout very easily, at least on Titan. So right now, I think this is a good start to the build. I'll keep Facet of Dawn, mostly because I don't know how much darkness damage will be doing with Diamond Lance, how often we'll proc it, and I do not know the cooldown. I can probably look it up in the Destiny 2 data compendium, but right now I'm kind of lazy. So we'll just go into a Lost Sector and kind of feel the build, see how it goes. Now, of course, we also want to get some fragments placed and ready. There are some weapon mods. So what am I thinking? I definitely think we want to use the arc weapon, especially with a Pugilist and Bolt Shot. That sounds like fun to me. Brigand's Law is the one I'm thinking of currently. I've been using it for a bit on the previous arc build I showed you guys, and it's been working out pretty nicely. I wouldn't call it, excellent, but it's good. So I'll give it a shot. I would like to also try the newest sidearm. What is it, the Division, I believe? Yeah, it gets Pugilist, Volt Shot as well. And it's a double fire sidearm. Realistically, I don't know how much of a difference of feel there will be between Brigand's Law and this one, but, the one I have in hand is Brigand's Law, so we'll stick with that. I think I'll use Watchful Eye for now to give us a little bit more Bolt Charge with Rolling Storm and Field Prep. And I'm not sure what we can do for the primary. It's definitely going to be a special exotic, realistically, in this case. Actually, a Darkness add clear exotic would be really good to give us even more darkness energy. Let's see what we can use. Hold on. Realistically, I can't think of a good Darkness add clear exotic. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing one. But we could also substitute Watchful Eye for Thunderlord. My only issue with Thunderlord is that the ammo economy doesn't feel as great as Watchful Eye. Field Prep is just so good. I think I get like 500 reserves on this thing or something like that. And Thunderlord feels at least like 200. So I really like Watchful Eye for what I'm trying to do with this build. And I really want to keep Brigand's Law. We could swap it out for something. I don't know exactly what. Maybe like an Indebted Kindness and then use Monte Carlo, perhaps, in the primary. But I want to make this build GM worthy, which is kind of rough with Monte Carlo. But yeah, for now, we'll stick with Scatter Signal, which I think is a great pick. So yeah, now we can go to the mods, which I have not really changed. We definitely want the Harmonic Siphon. I think it would be a cool idea to integrate a hands-on, as we're trying to get a lot of melee kills to get a super energy. Then Heavy Ammo Finder is always a good idea. Depending on the content, it's not necessary. For now, I think I'll leave that or put to another Harmonic Siphon or Arc Siphon. Let's see, for the arms, I feel like we're not focusing much on the class ability on Barricades or on Thruster. So I think I actually want to change this to Impact Reductions, as that will give us more melee energy. And for this one, we definitely want to be generating orbs. I might actually, we got to figure out our stats, but I'll do that in a bit. Impact Inductions, I think, are a really good option for this. I think it'll definitely boost up how much melee energy we get. Now for resistances, just match whatever the content is. I normally die to these two, so I'll just keep those around. Then for the boots, we want an Arc Scavenger as well. We want melee, we want recuperation. All my builds have recuperation. It is extremely good. I strongly recommend it to everyone. And lastly, I think we will be using our Thruster. So having Outreach is a good idea. Reaper is a good idea. And Special Ammo Finisher, Depends on what we end up using. I mean, I know in the artifact we have Dreadful Finisher, so we'll have a lot of special ammo, but for now that's fine. Now, since we have the mods ready, let me change that just because it's really bothering me right now. I will change the look of this as well, but for now, we want to leave it like that. And we go to Dim. Now, Dim, a lot of you know how to use this. If you don't, kind of give a quick explainer here. But here's where you can access your vault from basically anywhere. I like it more because there's a search function, even though you can now access the vault in-game, Vault S. So you can access your vault, you know how you can do in the tower from here, but it doesn't have a search function, and I do not know how the weapons are organized. It's a lot easier for me, at least in Dim, to just search it up over here. If I'm looking for a strand weapon, you can just do is strand, and there you go, all the strand weapons. I just remembered one weapon we can use. Here it is. It took me way too long to find that. Agger's Scepter. Now, this trace rifle basically freezes everything. Will be giving us a lot of darkness kills. Although I do remember, clearly I've been wrong about how Professor Balance works, but basically in this case, light damage will give us melees, dark damage will give us grenades. So once again, we're going to cycle the Inmost Light as well as our impact inductions. Yep, to give us more melee energy from the kills with Agger's Scepter. Now, Agger's freezes everything it shoots at, basically, causes a lot of shatter damage, and I believe its catalyst lets us consume our super to make it do more damage. I don't think we're really going to want to do that much, if at all, because, you know, Thunder Crash is a good super, even if even though we won't be using Cuirass in this case. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, there might be cases where we want to, but for now, it's mostly just for the freezing everything and darkness damage. So now we go back to Dim. I know how I keep bouncing everywhere. But what I want to do is now get our stats in order. As you may have seen, okay, it's updated. You can see right here I have 110 resilience. Not a great idea. It's really not doing that extra 10%. Doing nothing for us right now. So we want to optimize our armor, which, you know, thankfully that button says it there. What I want to do is, of course, we want 10 resilience. Oh, it's trying to, yeah, it's only showing better stats than what we have right now. However, I want the most strength we can have, and I'm feeling like an 8 in discipline. Now, a lot of people always go for, 10, triple hundreds. My issue with that is that you're leaving recovery very far behind. Now, we do have knockout in this build, so that is possible to not have to worry about it too much. However, I feel more comfortable having recovery at 4 at least. And, well, intellect, just leave it as is. I guess 3 is fine. Do I have any artifice that can help? But I do not. Cool. So now I want to equip all this. And of course, Dim takes its time to apply, but it should make all the transmogs and everything as I had it before, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. And yep, got my transmogs. Last thing I want to do is put on Shadestalker arms, just because it's kind of, a look I had currently. So we'll just keep flowing with it, I guess. Those arms are bulky, but I'll stick with it for now just to give it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. Now, while we load into the Pale Heart, which is for the Daily Lost sector, I want to see what's the difference between the aspect or the class item and the main exotic. So defeating targets with your Thunderclap melee restores melee energy. Okay, so that's something that the class item doesn't have. So let's keep just checking it out. Targets near you when you use your Thunderclap suffer lightning strikes and become jolted. Being amplified increases the damage of these lightning strikes. All right. So there's 2 differences. Not only, well, first of all, it'll give us melee. So first of all, the exotic will give us melee energy back, and it also increases the damage of those lightning strikes. That is something to keep in mind. Yeah, we'll have to see if it feels weak in harder difficulties. first thing I want to do is do it on, you know, at level, I guess, or overpowered level, just to kind of get a feel for it. I do not remember this lost sector. I do not know if this will be a good fit for it, but we shall see. Alright, so we'll see about this lost sector. I really don't remember anything about this. It's been a bit since I did this campaign. I did do it 3 times on each, or 1 time on each character, so 3 total. But we shall see how it goes. So first things first, use our weapon. Got a lot of my melee back. Fortunate that was only 1 ad. We can grab our, whatever this is called. Freeze them all. Okay, looks good. So that is one negative. Our range isn't quite that great. But not too much to worry about, at least on, you know, easy level content. Oh, I'm sure that's why they added those snipers, because I got lost there. Got melee back, so it's easy here. Alright, that feels kind of nice. Of course, like I said, these are weak enemies, so we don't really notice how much of difference Jolt is doing. Oh, these guys need prismatic, alright. Pretty beautiful timing that I got that. Use everything here. I mean, it's definitely a pretty nice loop, and I'm noticing I have my melee quite often. I don't think Brigand's Law is quite cutting it for me, but for now, we shall stick with it, see how it feels. Oh, might be dead, maybe. Oh, that hit a what is it called? Axiom Dart? Not too worried. Oh, I think I remember it now. Had the friendly one? Yeah. It's back. This is a good time to check this out. Didn't do as much of an impact as I wanted there, but then again they were kind of spawning still, so I couldn't tell if it was good or not. I will refrain from using that, just to try the build on its own. It's the bolt chart picking me up. Alright, I see. A bit more darkness, maggers. Oh, I guess we needed light if anything. Alright, so at least on level it's feeling good, but most things feel good on level. Yeah, this is the kind of ranges where I don't really love sidearms. We got our Transcendence back. Always great. And I have my melee and mage. Okay. You know, I haven't used Prismatic for a bit now since I've been so stuck with Arctitan. Or low Arctitan. Prismatic definitely has its benefits. Let's see, what is this boss arena? Okay. So there's a little bit of Jolt, but I don't notice it quite all that much. You might swap to the arms just to see what it does differently, especially in this part, but it's not looking quite great for it. I haven't been using that machine gun like at all. I guess that's why I feel like we don't have much range in the build, because I've been basically only using my sidearm. Prismatic if you want. That, kill everything. There's another melee. So we can get that. I guess we could probably still do damage to him, but I doesn't build, so I do not care. Oh, he died anyways. What's your name? Luzaki? Something like that? Oh, thank you. Cool. So that's kind of the build on level stuff. Feels pretty good, I'd say. Should we pop it up to legend? Oh, please don't talk.
Look at you. All
Um,
moved out and
so
living on
let's
your
go
own.
ahead and put it at hard difficulty.
This one.
So my artifact right now is mostly arc focused for the Arc Titan. However, since we do want to use a receptor, we could change some things around. Let's see. Or collect and load. Well, we're not using volatile marksman, so we can switch that to overload trace rifle to make it boosted. We definitely want dielectric. And elemental siphon's tempting. But, well, it's worth considering. For now, I think I'll use Disruptor Spike just to get more of a weekend on everything. Dreadful Finisher is a must. Flashover is a must. Harsh Refraction is a good idea because, well, it will slow, and Aegir's is stasis, so, you know, it's going to feel great with that. And, well, last was, I always want Defibrillating Blast, as it will heal us. So we get 2, actually, sources of healing with our abilities, well, mostly the melee, because melee will proc knockout, as well as Defibrillating Blast with any bolt charge we have. So this might be overkill, but right now I want to leave it. Limit Break is a good idea to make our super more powerful. However, I kind of want to use Heavy Ordnance more, just because we have a machine gun, which we should be using more. This will give us damage resistance and increased grenade and melee regeneration for a short duration. Alright, so that sounds good, as we're trying to make an ability-focused build. We have Overload and Unstop with this. Well, this will be Overcharged. This is Overload. And I have Unstop with this artifact, or this, what are they, Fragile mods now? So yeah, Rapid Hits with this weapon. It's a Taken Seeker projectile that stuns Unstops. So that's pretty good. And it will be overcharged. Well, it already is because of Overload Machine Gun over here. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Oh, okay, that's nice. Good to know it's pretty inconsistent. Someone stops, we would have to hit it directly. Quite unpleasant. Doesn't feel like it's doing much. Definitely kind of feel like we should swap your main exotic to see if it feels any different. Because I remember this doing a lot more. Yeah, that whole Fragile mod, where is it? Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, definitely need to have more trustworthy stuns with our Glacier Grenade, because right now we're really depending on our Diamond Lances to stun Unstops, as this Fragile mod is inconsistent, perhaps. Maybe it's just a skill issue. But I'm not quite preferring it, so we'll have to see. Yeah, I feel like our Bolt Shot weapon is doing more, jolt than our melee is. And that should really end the weapon match. No, the damage department's kind of rough. But, definitely do get the feel for the build, and some things I should change. Alright, so, my deck hasn't been open world, but I want to see what I can change on this build. So Pugilist was definitely helpful, but I think the main thing I want to do is run in there, at least on normal difficulty, with just point contact cannon brace. So, Your stats will probably be awful, but I want to see what it feels like. Aesthetic's not too bad, I think. Stats look good enough. I mean, I don't like seeing 46 and 67s, but honestly, for what we're trying to test right now, that's fine. Now, I will stick with the arc grenade and with the name's pulse grenade for now. But we shall see if it's cooking or if I should swap off, because Darkness Transcendence would be nice. And Aggers, I don't know, instead of doing the Attic Clear, I hoped it would. The machine gun's okay, but we need Darkness if anything, so. You see, I don't know, it feels like the exotic on its own does more. Like, look at that. And they almost have my name. I feel like I'm actually not sure of the exotic class item to really pick for this build. Yeah, I'm transcending right now, but I'm getting my melees back insanely quick. Something in point contact on its own might actually be a better pick. Alright, so now for this run, I've changed it up a little, or most of our loadout. I had took off Aggers because it's not giving us as much darkness as I would want. To make it worth it, it's not doing as much Attic Clear as I want to make it worth it, even though it's not, you know, at power cap right now, but doesn't feel right, so I'll leave that out for now. I'm sorry to Scatter Signal, my favorite fusion rifle. It'll stun, overload, or unstops very consistently from my experience. We'll see in this legend run. We got Thunderlord for our overloads, really good exotic, kind of basic in my opinion, but truth is it just works and feels great with basically anything. If I was using Arc on Storm's Keep, Thunderlord is insanely good. But for now, I just want to give this a shot, as I'm not sure what exotic to fit in. A lot of Arc. Oh, that's beautiful. Thunderlord feels nice for those range kills. Oh, we do have Transcendence for this part. Just trying to test the build without Transcendence, but let's be real. You're doing Expert, you're doing Transcendent. As of right now, this feels insane. Like it almost feels like, what is that helmet called again? I'm sure I wasn't gonna kill that and stuff. This almost feels like insurmountable Skullport when there's enough enemies, because we're getting our melee back almost every single time, especially if there's a lot of ads. We just get the melee back, which is kind of crazy. Our only main issue is range right now. And that's what we kind of have fun with. We can just sit back a bit and unload. And it's kind of a ranged option. I am thinking to switch the sidearm out Brigand's Law. For longer ranges, it's pretty rough. And, you know, in harder content, you're not going to be in the middle of everything. You shouldn't be, most of the time, unless you're Consecration Titan. But what would I swap it out for? Maybe Indebted. Indebted always feels great. The only issue with what is we'll be losing Pugilist, which always feels great. Yeah. So aside from the range, which is definitely struggling, I feel like this build is definitely a keeper. On Prismatic, it's feeling really good. This Lost Sector is definitely not the best spot for it. A lot of range spots. Meanwhile, this is made for being in the thick of it. As you just saw in this final arena, I slaughtered everything.
But it never felt possible.
I basically have my melee up all the time. When there's large item density, this build is really fun. The weapons can swap around. Alright, back to this. So, I feel like the weapons are kind of what was failing me most. These can change a lot though. As we saw, at least in the thicker moments of combat, I didn't need Pugilist. If anything, I was using my fusion rifle more. So realistically, I think we can get rid of Brigand's Law and use something we're more confident with. In my case, in Dead of Kindness, you can see I have 8,000 kills on it versus Brigand's Law 101. That tells you a lot about how much I prefer rocket sidearms. But like I said, weapons can change quite a lot. It's definitely made for more ad-dense things, as you saw. Struggling through the more open areas. In that case, if you're fighting something with more larger, further away enemies, you can swap to something like an AR. So for example, Vesper's Host AR is really good. I remember Pyroelectric Propellant. Many really good rolls. I thought it got Pugilist, no, it gets Strategist, which is okay. You can build into it to cycle abilities more. But Jolting Feedback is definitely pretty much a must. Because more range, Scout, Pulse Rifle is always good. Probably the one thing I really want to change is over here, since we're getting our melee back even more than our grenade, honestly. I at least want to change one of these to a momentum transfer. And to be clear, this looks like most of my builds as well. Impact Induction, Momentum Transfer, and Heavy Handed. At least on Titan, those three just are a marvelous combination in my opinion. I would almost want to swap them both to Momentum Transfer. But I feel like having one Impact Induction gives us a little bit more recyclability of our abilities. Just in case we, don't get our melee back. Like I said, the weapons can change quite a lot. Definitely a better build in more ad-filled content. So something like Onslaught, something like at least specific rooms in the GM of this week, which I will give this build a shot in there. Just because why not? And yeah, so I'll put some B-roll for the GM right now. I'm going to optimize my stats a bit and, close out with some closing thoughts, which will probably be the same as I've said until now.
escape works. But anything wearing Saladin's face is trouble. Run it through with the spear, Guardian.
So, some closing thoughts for the build. It's pretty solid. Honestly, I enjoy this build. It's a good break from both Arc Titan, that kind of is still Arc, and Consecration Spam Titan. Now, of course, like you saw in the scores, this guy was using a Consecration Titan with Worm Gods. In terms of kills, yes, Prismatic Titan on Consecration is still going to be insane anywhere. But this build is pretty solid, pretty fun. I personally don't think I would take it into GMs, as you're trying to be the most optimal in GMs. If you're just trying to have fun, then yeah, it's a good pick. But yeah, I will definitely be using this a lot in open world stuff. I do still have to fix the stats. I did have this ready and I forgot to apply it. That build applies. Some other notes. T-Crash, depending on the content, is a bit too risky. For example, this GM, I would strongly recommend either Glacial Quake or Twilight Arsenal, because Twilight Arsenal you get some more range. Glacial Quake, you basically become, it's just a great panic button. You press that, nothing can really kill you, and you can create cover to res teammates with the heavy attack, and you get Frost Armor, not the best damage resistance, but it's really good. Same thing with Twilight Arsenal. With orbs, you'd be getting Void Overshield, really solid, definitely a great pick. In terms of Facet of Courage, which is the one we were not too certain about what we wanted to do, you can definitely feel the difference sometimes, but truth be told, we're not spamming our stasis abilities enough to actually make it worth. So I would probably think Radiant is a better option. I just realized I was wasting this fragment in the GM at least, and I think in the last run of the Lost Sector. So in the end, I guess we can use both, depending on. All right, this is not a bad idea. We could use Facet of Ruin to help our shatters do more damage and more area of effect. That would go well in this combination right here, so that way we will have a lot more enemies affected by the shatter, and hopefully spread a little bit more of stasis debuffs, making it our, well, arc ability in this case, our melee, do more damage. Always great. And that would also boost our Thunder Crash as well. I guess it was being boosted before, so long as you had a Darkness debuff. But yeah, really the weapons are all interchangeable. You can do pretty much anything you want with them. But I would definitely want to try to keep stats around what I'm doing right here, actually. Oh, because I did a swap, that's why I was at 100 right now. Triple hundreds, that's always nice, I guess. Have the 4 recovery I want, and intellect is at least base level. So yeah, I really like this build. you guys give it a shot, let me know. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.